Hello, everyone. So, okay, here we go. Um, so you're seeing this video because we have a holiday coming up, and the holidays can be really difficult for a lot of people to stay on track. And I understand, most people use the holidays as a cheat day, and definitely I do as well. But that doesn't mean that we need to go totally overboard, even though we're going to be consuming more than we typically do. So I just have some tips for you on how to navigate the holidays and how to still stay healthy. And I'm going to talk a little bit more than just about just the holiday meal, but also about how to navigate when you're going to holiday parties as well. So first, we're going to talk about the meal. Now, think about your portions. So I know a lot of people just they get that big plate and they want to load it up with as much stuff as they can, and they want to have everything. Um, and I'm not saying don't try everything, but check your portions. You don't need to have huge scoops or multiple scoops or multiple servings of a food. One plate is enough, and small portions so that you can enjoy all of the foods that you want to enjoy, but you don't need to go overboard with it. Um, a good way to fill up your plate, well, one, use a smaller plate. I know we always get out the biggest plates on Thanksgiving because there's so much food and we need to fit it all on there. Well, we're going to fill that plate, so it's if you have a smaller plate, there's going to be less food on it. But when you're filling that plate, go for the veggies first and fill the plate up with vegetables. And that's going to leave less room for the other starches and fats and proteins. So load up on the veggies first, then go for the protein, the turkey or the ham or the roast or whatever it is that you're having for the holiday meal, and have that one serving of the protein. Or, maybe instead of the 3-ounce recommendation, you're going to have a couple more ounces than that, but you don't need to have a huge serving of the protein. And then after you load up your plate with the veggies and your protein, then go to the starch. Then go to the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, the squash, the sweet potatoes. So go to that later. And you don't just because the food is there, you don't have to eat everything that's there. If it's not something that you love, skip it. If somebody brings the sweet potato casserole and you're not a huge fan of sweet potatoes, skip it. You don't need to have it. So pick out your favorites and have those, and skip the ones that you're not crazy about. And also skip the foods that you can have it. If you have mashed potatoes all the time, or if you have and whatever it is all the time, skip it. Save the holiday meal for those special dishes that you don't have the rest of the year, and skip the ones that you have all the time. You can find healthy recipes for your favorite holiday dishes. So plan ahead, and if you're involved in cooking the meal, find some healthy recipes, and you can make modifications to make those dishes healthier. Save room for dessert. So you don't want to fill up and have a huge plate of all of the fixings and then not have any room for dessert, because dessert's the best part, right? So make sure that you save room for dessert, and you're not, when it comes time for dessert, you're not totally stuffed from your meal. So if you have it in your head that you're saving room, that is helpful. You can also be mindful of your beverages. You want to stay away from the caloric beverages and stick with water if you can, or whatever. Have one serving of an alcoholic beverage that you might be having at your meal. But try and the caloric beverages are just adding extra empty calories to your meal, so stay away from those. Skip the bread. Just like when When you're eating out, skip the bread, skip those things that are not really a part of the meal. So that's basically the gist on navigating the actual meal itself. So as we're going into the holiday season, there's going to be a lot of different holiday parties that you may be going to, and those are also sources of temptation and where we tend to overdo it. So a few tips for when you're at a holiday party. Don't stand in the room where the food is. If there's another room that you can go to, go there. Because if you're hovering around the food, you're going to be picking at the food. So try and go somewhere else. Be social. If you're talking, you're not eating. So try and be social and engaging with people at the holiday party away from the table with the food. Have a drink in your hand and have a plate with something on it in your hand. So if your hands are full, it's harder for you to be constantly loading up the plate. And you can, choose healthy things. Be careful of things like the cheese platters, which are going to be at every holiday party, because we end up adding cheese and crackers and pepperoni and whatever else on that cheese platter, and that adds up really fast. The fat in the cheese, the carbs in the crackers, the salt, it adds up and becomes unhealthy very quickly. So try and find the healthy foods at the holiday party and fill your plate up with those. There's usually veggie platters, there may be fruit platters. Find a couple of things that you just can't go without, and definitely have those. But skip the cheese and crackers. You can have cheese and crackers any day of the year. So why load up on the unhealthy stuff at the party? When you go to the party, eat something before you go. And if you're really hungry, you're going to be snacking all night. But if you eat a healthy meal before you go to the party, then you're less likely to be snacking, aimlessly. Stick to one alcoholic drink and then do water the rest of the night. Just like the holiday, you don't want to be filling up on caloric beverages. So, be the designated driver and don't have any alcoholic drinks. That's another great way to avoid the caloric beverages. So just a couple ideas on how to navigate the holidays. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me, and we can chat about how, if you have any specific things coming up that you think that you might need some help with, we can chat about that. All right, guys, enjoy your holiday, and we'll see you soon.